Welcome in. Funny story I'll share with you about internet connectivity here. A lot of people reported during the radio show that the signal was cutting out intermittently, like it was pausing or hesitating, or you guys were losing words. And I thought, wow, that's really weird because we have a really stable connection here right now. So I'll tell you what I found out during the top of the hour news there. I ran some tests of all the stupidness. I figured out what was going on. But before I get into that, I want to confirm that everybody can hear me okay, that volume is good on the microphone. We made some adjustments last week. So hopefully the volume is adequate and everybody is good to go. So just say hi, let me know you're listening, and then I'll go ahead and get started with the meat and potatoes of the program. So it was pretty cool. I was super embarrassed that I didn't know the number off the top of my head, 98.1. I'm like, why didn't I know that in my brain? I should have known that. But I didn't, and so I had to look it up. That was kind of embarrassing, but it was really cool to have a couple people from the Kansas City metro area calling in and letting us know that they were listening. So that was pretty cool. So anyway, so yeah, this little dongle right here is a USB to Ethernet adapter, because everybody knows when you're on an Ethernet connection, it is faster and more stable than a Wi-Fi connection. So if you are going to do something important, like back up a hard drive over your network, or stream a radio show, you want to hook up with the wire, because the wire is power, the wire is faster. My upload speed on the wire is 0.5 megabits per second. My upload speed on wireless right now is 3 megabits a second. Not stellar, but definitely fast enough to do video. 0.5? My cell phone gets more than that. So, yeah, we won't be using the wire next week, guys. That's what you get for not confirming, not testing. I just went ahead and assumed that the wire was good to go. So, anyway. All right, so one of the things we're going to talk about today is we obviously added a brand new radio station this week in Kansas City, so that's pretty cool. It was crazy that we had callers from the Kansas City metro area because they haven't heard the show yet. I'm going to tell you what's going on there. So basically, the long and the short of it is, we put our show on WHO in Des Moines in August. It'll be 2 years ago. And the idea there was, number one, we wanted to, when we opened the Omaha Service Center and we put our show on KFAB, we opened it up with full staff, bells on, and opened the doors, and it wasn't crickets, but it definitely wasn't like a mad rush of people that we were hoping for. And so it took some time to build the audience, to educate audience, to tell about the products and services, and have people tell their friends about it. And it took time for that word of mouth to spread. It took a year and a half for it to spread to the point where the service center was self-sustaining. So what we're trying to do with the Des Moines market is we put the radio show in ahead of time, a year and a half ahead of time, with the intent that once we open the service center, we should already have a base of listeners who have heard the radio show. The word of mouth about Schrock will spread much more quickly, as our hope. We're going to help kind of speed that along with some mailers and some other things we're going to be doing. And this is the big test. We're going to put the service center in and open the doors and be like, hello, and we're going to hope it's not crickets, right? I don't think it's going to be crickets. We learned some important lessons with Omaha, and we're going to be doing some unbelievable special offers to open the Des Moines Service Center up. It's going to be absolutely nuts. There's going to be so many deals. You can only get one, right? But there's going to be so many deals that you're going to want them all. And I was joking with my staff. I bet we're going to have customers driving from Omaha and Lincoln to Des Moines to get in on the deal because they're going to be that good. So anyway, we're building tons of computers right now to send to Des Moines, so they have lots of inventory. They've got all their furniture in the service center. The lovely Kimberly and I will be down there this week to begin the actual physical construction, because, yep, that's what you do when you own a small business. You actually work. People come into the store and they're like, wow, I can't believe you're here. Or I answer the phone and they say, I can't believe you actually answer the phone. And I'm like, I'm going to be the first to admit that, I have people that we pay to be in the service centers to do this. But if I'm standing around in Papillion doing something, and Nikki is with a customer, and Ryan's on the phone with a customer, and we have 3 phone lines, and we have 2 people there, And if the third phone line rings, yes, the phone system will answer it and say, "Thanks for calling Schrock. Stay on the line, and we'll be right with you." And it'll put you in the queue basically. But if I'm standing right there, do you know how much money I pay to make that phone ring? I'm going to answer that call. Somebody needs help. I'm going to answer that call. And they're like, "I can't believe I actually got you." Now, I may not be the best guy to talk to about things because the guys that we hire and employ are way better technicians than me. But I can certainly find my way out of a paper bag given the opportunity and a flashlight. I'll be good to go there. So anyway, so that's what we're doing in Kansas City. Is the radio show will air for the first time next Sunday in Kansas City. So when the show airs next Sunday, let me get the time slot here too, because there was some negotiation back and forth with them on what the actual time slot was going to be, because I wanted a time slot that matched the time slot that we're on KFAB, so that it would be the same time. Unfortunately, that time is already taken. Sunday mornings are difficult to get because lots of churches take the time. So we are on Sunday morning at 8 to 9, as opposed to 7 to 8 where we're on KFAB. So if you're listening in Des Moines and you're listening in Lincoln, or if you're listening in Kansas City, you will hear the same show every week. It will be the show that I did the previous week on KFAB. So, moral of the story is, if you want the current breaking news, state-of-the-art show, you probably want to listen on Facebook every week, Sunday mornings at 7. If, on the other hand, you just want to hear it on the airwaves, you can. It's a week delayed, which you'll notice. Like, I don't say things like Happy Mother's Day or Happy Father's Day or Happy Veterans Day. There are some times I can't avoid doing it. So, for example, we had a Veterans Day special. Veterans Day special was on Veterans Day. That's when it happened. We couldn't. You can't. It's difficult starting and ending sales, for example. There's always a week of lead time. So, in other words, when a sale ends and I tell you the sale is done, typically a week afterward, if you call in and say, "Hey, can I still get in on that?" We'll let you in on it, because we're still getting calls from our other markets that are just now hearing, "Hey, the sale is going to be done today at 5 o'clock." And so they're calling in. So it's caused us to adjust the way we do things a little bit. But next week will be the first time, Sunday at 8 a.m., that we will air on 98.1 FM KMBZ in Kansas City. It's an FM talker station. It's the first FM talk station we've been on. KMBZ is incredibly established in the Kansas City market. They are, for all intents and purposes, Kansas City's KFAB. They tend to lean a little bit different politically. They don't run Limbaugh and stuff like that, so it's not as far right leaning, which is going to be, one of the things I was talking about with our advertising agency is, I know who we hit in our target audience because we do a lot of AM radio advertising, and there's a certain subset of the demographic that listens to AM radio. That the other subset of the population doesn't even know that the radio gets terrestrial signals. They're listening to satellite. They're listening to Pandora. They're listening to other stuff. They don't even know we exist. I told the story last week about the officer that pulled me over. Literally coming going to work every day. He drives right past a Schrock Innovations. Never knew we existed. Thought they were supposed to be observant. So anyway, KMBZ, welcome aboard everybody in the Kansas City metro area. Hopefully you're hearing our show, and maybe you stay tuned for the Aftershock. I didn't get a lot of time to explain what the Aftershock was, but hey, there was a lot of explaining going on in that show. And I couldn't have queued up better callers, guys. Thank you so much for the calls, because literally I had a call that was like secure updater question. I had a call that was drive advisor question. I had a call that was endpoint question. The only thing that was missing was an extended warranty phone call, honestly. We had Linda with her 2012 holiday special, proof of concept, right? There's a reason we open service centers in the fall, because the holiday season is usually our best time of year, financially speaking. So if we're going to open a service center and pay $15,000 to put a sign on the building, and $100,000 to do an entire service center build out and all this stuff, we're going to open it when we have the best chance of recouping that quickly. So that's one of the reasons we open in the fall. So we are on track right now for an August open. By on track, I mean the service center is there, the material is arriving, we're getting it installed. We have not hired people yet, though. So Parker and I will be spending a lot of time in the Des Moines Service Center, getting it off the ground and getting our staff there trained to run things the way we want a Schrock to run. Between the two of us, we're probably not going to permanently transplant somebody to the Des Moines market from the Omaha market or the Lincoln market. But in hiring, we're definitely only hiring technicians that have extreme experience and come across really, really well in an interview. So we are going to start the interview process here on the 1st to make sure that we find somebody to find. We need about 5 people, honestly. We need a front desk, and then we need 2 senior technicians and 2 junior technicians. That's a typical Schrock complement. And so we need 5 people. But in this case, opening a new service center, they've got to be 5 people that can think and move on their feet. There's no time for us to, as we call it, spec on somebody, where we find somebody who is a really, really, really good person, or really, really has a great countenance about them, comes across very caring and concerned, or on the other hand, maybe doesn't have that countenance, but is super knowledgeable on computers, and we believe we can train them. They are a good person, so we believe we can train them to express themselves non-verbally in ways, thanks for calling Schrock Innovations, how can I help you? Is totally different from, thanks for calling Schrock Innovations, my name's Thor, how can I help you today? And just, if you close your eyes and listen to that, it sounds different. The picture you get in your brain is different. And those are things that kids aren't taught anymore, because no kids get summer jobs anymore. So they don't have that working at McDonald's experience, or I was a dishwasher when I was a kid. They don't have that experience of showing up for a job on time, making sure that you're giving good service and making sure you're doing your job the way you're supposed to have it done, that you care about the quality of the work you do, even if the task seems menial. That doesn't exist. We have to train that now. So we got to find people, in this case for Des Moines, that already have a degree of that, because there just won't be time in a month to completely reshape somebody into. If we could build a Schrock senior technician in a month, we would turn that into a mint, because we'd be amazing at developing people. A lot of training videos a lot of CBTs are going to be happening. There'll be Thor in front of a camera. Let me tell you about Secure Updater. In fact, why don't you just listen to last week's radio show? It had it all in there, and you're good to go. That's all you need to know. All right, so if you have a question for the Aftershock, please post it on the left-hand side over here. I know that some of you various times get a delay based on when you join, so you could be as much as 15, 30, 45 seconds behind me. So when I say last call, and then finally I don't hear anything for a minute, and then I end the Aftershock, that's because I didn't hear anything, but it just means you just heard it. So definitely, if you have questions, comments, things like that, post them in there now, and I'll go through those and make sure that we address any of them that are in there. Oh, golly, what else is there? So, yeah, the Dick Cheney thing, that was hilarious. I just came to mind. I saw this picture of Dick Cheney wearing a black mask, and the headline was, Dick Cheney says real men wear masks. And it struck me. I thought, my gosh, he's still alive. Like, I knew he got a heart transplant. I just didn't. He has just been gone, like, right? I mean, he hasn't been in the. He's made a comment here or there, I guess, but he hasn't been in the. Even George W. Bush has popped his head up once in a while to say a couple words. But you haven't heard much out of Dick Cheney. And I'm like, well, he's still alive. It's like a proof of life video. Real men wear masks. Look, it's the coronavirus. Because you would have never seen Dick Cheney wearing a black cloth mask. Dick Cheney in a black cloth. You may as well have put the man in a black hat for the left. I mean, he's the evil Dick Cheney wearing his black mask with his black hat. Oh, gosh, it was bad. But so anyway, it was like she was rolling. And I'm like, oh, gosh, some people are going to think that was too political. And then I'm like, oh, boy, I'm trying to avoid the politics like the plague right now, because things pop into my head. Like during the news, there's this report that supposedly, Russia, which I totally believe could have happened, was paying Islamists to kill Americans. And Trump was briefed on it, and he didn't do anything about it. How is that any different than all the Iranians that have been paying money to families in Iraq to kill Americans that Trump didn't do anything about, Obama didn't do anything about it, and Bush didn't do anything about it? I mean, there's sanctions, but there's sanctions on Russia. I think the sanctions are there. What are you going to do? You want to go to war? Like, what do you want to do? Yeah, it's really a bummer that they're paying people to kill our soldiers. Do you think the CIA wouldn't do the same? Do you think the CIA didn't do the same when Russia was in Afghanistan? Do you think that the guys in Afghanistan just got Stinger missiles? They found them under rocks? American-made Stingers to shoot down Russian helicopters? No. So, yeah, I don't know. So some of you hear these news stories, you just shake your head like, if you engage your brain and think about the news story, you're like, you change the name of the president, the news story would be totally different. I mean, it's just like it's not a real story, and so those things just strike me, and it's like I like to consume news product. I like to consume news product that is interesting, that informs me of things I didn't know. Um, like I had no idea that there was a black woman killed in a no-knock warrant until I saw somewhere on social media that someone was protesting her death, and I thought this has got. There was a big thing about it, like if you don't know this, then you should read this. And it was this big long paragraph, and at the bottom was a fundraiser thing, edited and added a fundraiser thing once this went viral. And I thought, surely this is fake news because come on, this looks like a fake Facebook post. And I Googled it, and no, it was real. And then I read the story behind it, and it's tragic. And I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, that's a no-knock warrants are a bum deal. It's not just black people that get killed in no-knock warrants either. There's, yeah. So anyway, it's you hear these stories, and you almost have to do your own research and your own homework and become a not an expert, but heavily informed in the topic so that you can form an opinion that's not just regurgitating what somebody handed you. And so it's like everybody calls, fake news, and it's like, well, what is news? I mean, this has been going on since like the 50s at least, since television news became a thing. The news company has a narrative, and they push the narrative. But you got to wonder, like, the left didn't do this to like Jimmy Carter when the malaise was going on. It's like they're day 492 of the Iran hostage crisis. It's like the news seemed to be more fair back when I was a kid. It seemed to be more fair, but maybe it wasn't, and I was just, longing for the good old days. All right, let's see if you got any questions here, guys. Hey, Mitch, good to see you. Mary, top fan Mitch as well. You are good. All right, A-OK Richard says, yes, good, everything is good here. Google Chrome or Firefox? Okay, so Mitch, I'm a Firefox guy myself. Google Chrome sure makes life easy. Google Chrome makes life easy because you give everything to Google. And Google then uses all of your personal data to make your experience as good as possible. They also use your personal data to make sure that all the ads that you receive are individually catered to your preference. I like Firefox because Firefox cares more about my privacy than any other browser, more than Edge. Because when I say Microsoft sticks their own spyware in there, they do. And spyware has a negative connotation, and maybe I shouldn't use that on the show. But to improve, there's a genuine product offering there, right? So Google. So for example, my son is playing Call of Duty on Xbox the other day, and I had one of those days like I just had a long week, and I haven't played a video game in a long time, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna play a Call of Duty game. So I installed it on my computer and I played Call of Duty. And I did really well because it's been years since I played, but I did very well. Call it beginner's luck, but I did very well. And my son was impressed. My 13-year-old son was impressed. And any of you who have teenagers know how hard it is to impress a 13-year-old. And so then he asked to play with me. And then he invited me into his clan, right? And so now I'm a member of his clan, and he added me into his friends on there. So now I can join games with him, and he can join games with me. And then Father's Day, he writes in the Father's Day card, I really enjoyed playing a video game with you, Dad. We should do that more often. And it's like breaking my heart, kid. Like, Call of Duty is one of those games you just need to set aside like 4 hours of your day, and then you might become proficient in one map. It's like it takes a lot of time to get good at it, and all these kids do all day long is play it. So the fact that I played one game, it was like that time I came in second at Fortnite at the church retreat. Dad came in second place. Dad's taking the win. I'm going to put the controller down now, and I'm going to let this be my legacy. I'm the guy that came in second at Fortnite. So anyway, that it was fun, but it's amazing, like the stuff that impacts kids that you don't think about. That like to me it was just me blowing off steam after a week at work, and for him, every time I come down to the basement now where my office is and sit down at my computer, hey Dad, what you doing? Yeah, I'm doing, and I tell him what I'm doing, and it sounds like the most boring stuff in the world because opening a new service center is not like Super exciting stuff. There's marketing plans, there's interviews, there's meetings, there's quotes from the sign companies, and all this stuff has to happen at one time, and I'm the only one that can do it. I've got to be the one that does it. Um, Gone are my days of going in and working a bench and having a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. I just have a never-ending bureaucracy of paperwork now. It's kind of fun-ish, not really, but it's exciting in its own way. But my son doesn't think it is, so it's kind of funny. So yes, I like Firefox because it is much more privacy focused than the other browsers. But there's nothing wrong with Google Chrome. It's a fine browser. Half the people on the internet use it, so it's got to be doing something right. But yeah, it allows me to log into my Blizzard account by clicking my Google icon, my Google. That's what I don't have to create a username and password. I can just say sign in with Google, and now Google knows anytime I play a video game. So it's kind of interesting. They can make inferences about that. Are you planning on having drawings giving away Royals tickets now that you're in Kansas City market? Asking for a friend. Oh, Mark. So the funny thing, the, we're entering the Kansas City market next week, okay? And right now, the main objective of the radio show in the Kansas City market right now is we're watching our website. We're watching our website to see, do people come from Kansas City to our website? Are we seeing an increase in traffic and interest? Are customers purchasing our digital products from the website? When we talk about like a router vulnerability, do we get calls from Kansas City? Those are the same things from the central Iowa entire area, the Des Moines Metro Plus, I call it. We get those calls. We see that activity. We know, well, we shouldn't say we know. We believe with a degree of certainty that the Des Moines Service Center will be very busy and successful from day one. Because we've been seeding it for 2 years. Now that was a year longer than we planned. We planned to have the radio show in there for a year and then do Des Moines. The reason we're looking at Kansas City next, Des Moines is a proof of concept for us. It's the first one that's geographically distant to the point where it is not really feasible to drive there and back in a day because you're going to spend 5 hours on the road out of an 8-hour day. It doesn't make a lot of sense to do that. So in the beginning, we're just going to have to do that because that's just how life is. But it's going to be the first geographically distanced service center. It's going to be the first Schrock service center placed in a new market since 2010. So we want to make sure that our stuff ain't stale. Does AM radio still work the way it worked when we were on KFAB originally? Or is it losing its mojo? Is talk radio losing some mojo? We don't know that. How can we reach other demographics? We're doing a customer profile right now on all Schrock customers, basically learning everything we can learn about our customers to see what traits they have in common aside from AM radio listening, right? Maybe, like I was using the example, maybe they're bird watchers, and we could advertise in the Autobahn magazine, the Autobahn, that's the wrong way to say it. I don't know. Somebody correct me. I'm not a bird watcher. So see, that's the thing. I'm good at reaching people in the media channels that I listen to, but I don't listen to MSNBC, for example. But 40% of the American population potentially does. So they have computers too. Should I really ignore them? Probably not. That's not a smart business thing to do, right? So how do we reach them? That's the next question. All right, Don, good morning from Omaha. So yeah, Mark, Royals tickets. There are no plans at this time to offer Royals or Chiefs tickets. I'm not sure at this point there will be a Chiefs or Royals season to offer tickets to, but we will keep you posted. We tried to do Omaha beef tickets, so let's make sure we get that off the ground first. Robert, good morning. Appreciate you joining us. Hi, Carolyn from Round Rock. Appreciate it. I haven't forgotten about Round Rock. It's definitely on the list. All right, Schrockville, I love it. Richard, top fan. Hey, Mitch, top fan, uses Firefox there. Messenger video chat not supported by Firefox, says I need to use Google Chrome. It's because in your Firefox browser, there is a little, right next to if you go to SchrockInnovations.com, there's a little fence over there. It's an icon of a fence, and that fence is fencing off Facebook. So basically, Facebook can't collect data. It's protecting your privacy. If you disable the Facebook fencing on the Schrock page, you'll be able to chat. But yeah, that's one of the downers to it. We looked at other chatbots, guys. The going rate for a chatbot that is not Facebook based was like $600 per location per month. It was ridiculously expensive. I don't even know why it's one website. Why do we have to have one per location? That makes no sense to me. But yeah, that's how they have it structured. And then we straight told them, like, no, that's not going to happen. If you told me $600 a month for the chatbot, that's not going to happen. You know, $60 a month for the chatbot, I would think about. Schrock Interactive is offering to install the Facebook chatbot for free on your business website. So if you want the Facebook chatbot on your website, it's free from Facebook. We will install it right now for free on your website. Just get a hold of Annette over at Schrock Interactive. Call any of the service centers and they can get you to Annette. But she'll get you set up with it on your business website for free. It's pretty sweet. What are upcoming sales? I have a child starting collage. All right, so I know it means college, but anyway, upcoming sales. So the normal sales schedule, what we have is in the fall, we are going to pop another maintenance special. It will be conspicuously close to back to school time. There's a reason for that. There will not be any computer sales for back to school. What we have found is that sometimes we have to discount and sometimes we don't. We prefer not to actually discount the computers because we don't have a lot of margin in them. And we find people who are going to buy a modular computer are going to buy a modular computer because it's a modular computer. They're not going to buy it because it's $50 more expensive or $50 less expensive than something they're looking at Best Buy. There are definitely people out there who are price conscious that are going to make a decision based on price, but then they don't really value the service side and the modular side of it. And this is one of the things we're trying to figure out about our customers. What separates the customers that come in and just buy a laptop and maybe an extended warranty to the customers like Linda that called in who have everything, who have the computer, they've got the antivirus protection, they've got secure updater, they do safe upgrade, they have the extended warranty. What is unique about that group of people? Because we have over 25,000 people in our customer list, and less than 1,000 of them have everything. So there's some difference in that group of people, and we're trying to identify what that difference is so that we can better, we want to take care of people. We want to make sure that we can better fulfill the needs, because what ends up happening is the people who don't get everything or don't even get the majority of stuff, specifically the security software, they come in with an infection. And they're like, what this? We have a woman right now who bought an Intrepid laptop. We have sold literally 100 Intrepid laptops in the last 2 months, and everybody is using them on Zoom. But this one woman has had 2 different Intrepid laptops, and they will not work on Zoom for her. There's something about her setup, the acoustics of the room she is in. It's causing a feedback loop. This is my thought process on it, probably what's happening. What's happening is her microphone keeps cutting out. It mutes itself. Literally, it goes mute. And she has to go and unmute it because the microphone is picking up feedback from the speakers, and it's going to create a wah for everybody on the call. So it automatically mutes her microphone to stop that from happening. That's a Zoom feature. You can disable it. We have disabled it. It's still happening. We don't know why it's happening. So, and she's the only person that's getting hit with this out of everybody that has these Intrepid laptops. And she is insisting that her laptop is not compatible with Zoom. It's compatible with Zoom. There's something going on because when we bring it into the service center, we put it on the bench, Zoom works fine. Now, granted, we don't have an extended conversation with ourselves on Zoom. Maybe we need to do that. Maybe we need to have a couple technicians sit down and have a chat over Zoom for 40 minutes because you're limited to 40 minutes on Zoom. And see what comes of it. See if there's feedback or the microphone cuts out or things like that. Mine doesn't on my computer. We have a weekly meeting of senior technicians at Schrock. They all use Zoom. It doesn't cut out on any of them. They're using the Intrepid laptop for the Zoom meetings, the display model one. Works fine. So I don't know what the deal is there, but we have these situations where sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. And when it comes to sales, we're not going to be doing a computer sale. There will be a maintenance sale. So if they have a computer, they're going to get maintenance. I don't know exactly when we're going to pull the trigger on that yet. Probably not the same month that we opened Des Moines, to be honest, because when we opened Des Moines, the plan here is free maintenance checkups, computers up to 50% off in the Des Moines location. This is all Des Moines location only. So there'll be free maintenance checkups, computers up to 50% off, no labor on solid state upgrades. Pretty much every major super popular sale that we have had They're getting a ridiculous number of computers in inventory to have on hand. Most of our service centers carry 3 of each computer on hand. Papillion carries 4. That way we can replenish from Papillion. We're talking about sending like 10 of each one to Des Moines. Just to make sure that and then we can replenish from Papillion if we need to on a day's notice if they sell all 10 of a model in a day or something crazy like that. So we don't know exactly what to expect, but we do know that the objective is going to be very busy. We also know we're going to do a soft open. So what that means is we are going to send email communications to all of our Iowa customers, probably a phone communication as well, letting you know that the new service center is available for a soft open and that we have some specials. So a soft open is a non-mass advertised opening. And if anyone from our Omaha or Lincoln communities wants to come down and take advantage of those deals, we're not going to prohibit it because honestly we can't stop it. If you come down and you're like, I want to buy a computer, but I'm going to go to Des Moines to save 35%. I'm not going to blame you for that. I would do that too. So, but the prices on the website, you can't order it online at that price, things like that. Everything on the website will be normal. These are going to be, the whole purpose of this sale is to drive physical people into a physical location in the middle of a pandemic. Yeah, we'll be wearing masks, don't worry. Yeah, that's the objective. So there will be some sales, but the next planned computer sale is the holiday special, which we have absolutely no clue. The desktop computer we can build all day long. The laptop, we literally have no clue at this point what we're going to do for a laptop because the supply chains are so jacked up right now that laptops are virtually impossible to get. We struggle just to get the Asus laptops that we carry in stock. You guys have no idea how bad it is behind the scenes. I was talking to my sister, and I told her, if you're looking to buy any tools or equipment, things like that, you need to buy it right now, because if there is a second wave of this that disrupts supply chains again, the supply chains are tenuous at best right now. So yeah, when I see rubbing alcohol at Hy-Vee when I go in, and it's limit 1 bottle per visit, I buy a bottle. Do I need rubbing alcohol right now? No, I don't. Am I hoarding rubbing alcohol? No, I'm not. Because you got to think of it this way. We mix the rubbing alcohol with our Windex. So when we clean your computers, that's our sanitizing spray. We can't get Lysol. And the industrial cleaners, have you seen the industrial cleaners that the big box stores are using on carts and stuff? That stuff is no joke, guys. That'll eat your hands off. And it's hilarious to watch the grocery store cashiers spray their belt and wipe it down as it goes by, and they wipe it and they wipe it and they wipe it. Okay, you can come forward and put your groceries on the belt. Do you know that when you spray disinfectant on a surface, it doesn't kill anything if you wipe it off? That you have to let it sit and air dry? Yeah. So literally all the effort you guys are going through is just virtue signaling. It's just to make people feel more comfortable. That's the only reason you're doing it. The spit shields, they're running articles on the news sites about how the coronavirus can travel over grocery store aisles. So do you think the little spit shield in front of the cashier, the salad bar buffet shield, is going to help? It's going to go right over that, right? I mean, I don't know. So it's all to make employees feel better. It's all to make customers feel safer. And it's all to give the businesses some line of defense if they get sued. Because number one, it'd be really hard to prove that you contracted coronavirus at a particular business and not anywhere else in public. But businesses are still aware that those lawsuits will probably be coming. I'm sure Walmart's got hit with a couple of them already. All right. Thank you for the question, Corey. I appreciate it. Okay. Will the Des Moines Service Center offer free pickup and drop-off like Lincoln and Omaha? As a non-driver, the Uber out to West Des Moines from downtown would be quite steep. Yeah, we do offer free pickup and free drop-off within 30 miles of a service center, which means there would be free pickup and free drop-off to the entire Des Moines metropolitan area. That's one more thing on Thor's to-do list. I need to buy a car, and I need to get it wrapped. Yeah, that's got to happen this week. It takes forever to get cars wrapped. So yeah, it's it's fun times, everybody. All right, any other questions? Last call for questions before I get going here for the afternoon. We got a bunch of projects to get knocked out today. Let's see, what do we got here? Okay, hey, thank you, Russell, for the order. Safe Upgrade. Yeah, I picked up a copy of Safe Upgrade for his computer here to make sure he gets the 2020 version 2004 installed on his computer. Um, yeah, so basically the sales and special offers. I know it blows guys that we're not going to have the same sales and special offers here in the Omaha Metro, but these are all sales that we've already run this year. We already did the sale with the free labor on the solid state upgrades. We already did the sale on. We did a computer sale already. We actually gave $100 off a computer, which in some cases was like 20% off. So we've already done a computer sale. We've already done all these things here. We did free maintenance checkups to celebrate the reopening of Nebraska, right? We already did this stuff here. So now we're going to do it in Des Moines. Now the challenge is you can only get one discount per order. So when you come into the service center, you might come in for the free maintenance checkup, but then when we tell you about the solid state hard drive, you might choose to pay for the maintenance checkup to get the free solid state hard drive installation because it's going to save you a lot of money. So there's going to be, oh my gosh, guys, the order we're placing for parts is, we were placing nutso orders before for parts, but we have no idea what the numbers are going to look like when we open Des Moines. We could have crickets, or we could look like an Apple store opening. We have no idea. And so I'm ordering like, let's send 50 of each hard drive to Des Moines. 50? That's what all three of our service centers go through a month. 50 of each size, 120, 240, 480, and a terabyte. We go through that many between three established service centers. Do you think that Des Moines is going to go through that many like in the first month? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. Wouldn't it be great? Think about all the computers we could speed up in Iowa. Think about all the people who have been taking. We were Facebook stalking our Iowa competitors because that's what you do. You gotta learn about your competition. It's a market that we're not in right now. So the Central Iowa computer repair shops, we were looking into all of them. There is one of them, and kudos for them for trying to be innovative. But this would have been an absolute flippin' nightmare. A contactless computer check-in station. So you walk into the shop, and you put your computer on the counter, and you grab the computer and you type your own work order. So basically, you tell the technicians what's wrong with your computer. That is going to go wrong so badly. As I outlined earlier in the program, people come into us, they don't always know what's wrong with the computer. So you just type it in there, okay, here it is, and then they check it in. And I don't know, it's just, you know what? We can stay 6 feet apart because the desk itself is 4 feet from front to back. You're sitting in a chair, that's adding another 5th foot. You're standing on the other side of the counter, that's adding a 6th foot. You are 6 feet apart from my people when you come into the front. And you're coming into the front desk, and the only person you're going to interact with is the person at the front desk. There may be a guy that comes out from the back to help him or her out to grab a computer and run it to the back so that customer, they can quickly help the next customer in line. We put a little doorbell on the front desk that you push the doorbell button when you need help or when you have a situation at the front desk. Once in a while, we've had some weird stuff happen. We had to eject a customer from the Lincoln Service Center for the first time in 21 years. He wanted to play chess with our employees. He brought a chessboard with him. He wanted to sit down and play chess, and my guys were like, hey, I can't sit down on the job and play chess, man. I'm sorry. I gotta keep working. And he got offended by that, and then he started calling my employees racial epithets, which right now especially is something you don't want to do. In general, it's a bad idea. Words that I won't even repeat here. And at that point, Nate was like, out, go, leave now. Don't want that here. Then they called the police to report it, and the police like, yeah, we know who he is. It's one of those things. He'll find another business to hang out at with next week. So anyway, let's see. What do you use to clean computer and TV screen? Honestly, we use Windex. Windex, not the Windex with the what's the word I'm looking for? You obviously don't want to use any chlorine-based products at all. And this is especially important on touchscreens. Don't use Lysol on your touchscreen. I can't tell you the science behind it, but when the whole Rona hit, all of our phones in our service centers are touchscreen, and we were Lysoling the heck out of those things. I mean, because you got to soak it with Lysol, and then you got to let it air dry, right? That's what the bottle says to do, so that's what we were doing. And it zapped our touchscreens on the phones. They stopped working. We had to replace the phones. So I have to assume that your capacitive touchscreens on your laptops are going to be very similar. So don't Lysol your computer screens. So we Lysol keyboards, and then we Windex screens. So what we're doing right now with our we get like an ammonia based light Windex, and then we mix like a bottle of we literally take like 30% Windex and then a whole bottle of rubbing alcohol to get it up to a 70% concentration. So it's almost more rubbing alcohol than ammonia and Windex, but it does really well at cleaning and it evaporates quickly. That's good. But yeah, you can use any of those things on a screen. They won't hurt the screen at all. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you for joining us for the Aftershock today. I appreciate it. It was good to have you all here, and I appreciate you. Welcome aboard to all of our Kansas City listeners picking us up for the first time. We look forward to having you guys learn more and grow with us as the show goes on. This will be the first boosted show on Facebook, also that's boosted specifically to Nebraska, Iowa, and Kansas. I guess I got to do Kansas and Missouri, don't I? So we're going to boost to all 4 states now, which is going to dramatically increase the listenership. So as time goes on, guys, please like and share the show, the radio show, as well as the Aftershock on your Facebook pages. It really helps us spread the word about the company. It's the 21st century equivalent to word of mouth. Next to a Google review, it's the single biggest thing you can do to help us out. I really appreciate that. And then we'll continue to do what we do and hopefully keep your technology working well for you. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a wonderful afternoon, and we will talk to you again next week.